Those are damn.
Yeah. No.
All right. I'm going to be doing some extra movement tonight. Well, Julia's doing okay. Right? Woohoo! Hey guys, thank you so much. Welcome to our Thursday evening space. Anything goes with Morella and Julia. And of course, we have our resident guest friend and psychotherapist, Victoria Lorient-Fabish.
Yes.
Donning her big Valentine's colors
Day colors
tonight.
You're
looking all bougie. I love it.
I love it.
Yes. And my co-host over there, Julia Scalise, a little under the weather. I know, but you know what? She's here like the trooper she
We're
is.
sending good energy to her.
I have to apologize. She probably got it from me because it's only been 5.5 weeks. But anyway, guys.
But you're better.
I'm better. I'm on my second round of antibiotics. It was sinus related, but I am better. I am better.
Take some probiotics when you're done that, eh?
Yes. And Victoria's been so lovely. She's been sending me messages about some of the stuff I should be taking. So I do appreciate that.
Holistic prevention.
Oh, it's fantastic. And you know what? I needed my energy to be talking about this topic tonight for sure. And so did Julia.
Emotional dumpster diving. Anybody doing that?
Me.
Yeah, since
Okay, we got to stop that crap.
I got stories. But listen, guys, firstly,
V-Day's coming up.
V-Day is coming up. I want to thank everybody, as we always do in typical fashion. Thank you so much for the love, for the support. You guys are freaking awesome. Thank you. I always want to thank my co-host over there, Julia Scalise, all of our special guests, my baby girl Felicia at home, of course, Frequency 5 FM, Maria and Joseph. Excuse me, we're here. So this weather, this snow, kind of just.
I was slipping and sliding.
Yeah.
That's why we were late today.
That's okay. You know, we never start on time.
A little bit like, okay, I gotta focus. There's no music. There's just focus.
Just focus.
That's it.
And you're here. And you know what? Safety first, right?
Yeah, and there was a guy behind me kind of going, go faster, go faster. I'm like, yeah, go around me, go around me. You know?
Go around.
There's 6 lanes.
The roads were, you know, because it's like that light snow, so it's very slippery.
Yeah.
And
I've got the tires on, but it was still a little slippy.
I'm personally done with this weather. I've been done for 2 months already.
Absolutely.
But how have things been going with you? How's your week been? I know you've been pretty busy.
I've been really busy. My mom passed away in November, so I've been dealing with an estate sale and just all the things that, when we accumulate all this stuff, when we pass away, we want to respectfully get rid of stuff. So we've been doing auctions and dropping off lovely pieces at places that are going to consignment places and selling stuff and letting stuff go for basically nothing, and people saying, well, we'll recover that thing and we'll do this and we'll take a picture of the thing. So it's been an emotional journey. Beautiful table at my friend's place now, and art now at another friend's place. You know what? It is bittersweet.
Yes.
But it is, sending my mom off into the great beyond very respectfully.
And I want to get to Julia in a minute, and then I want to get back to Victoria in terms of like when you talk about emotional dumpster diving, and you're talking about and we're talking about like this theme leading up. We're almost closing off our Inside a Woman's World series, which has been phenomenal, and it's been no coincidence that it's leading up to, and we're closing it off next Thursday night. Excuse me, which is Valentine's week. But we talk a lot, and we've been talking a lot about love and layers of love and multidimensional love, self-love, love for others. And then there's also, Victoria hit some really key things, and I'm really excited to hear about this myself tonight because we're all experiencing it. But I guess also what I'm saying is, in your case, you've been going through an emotional time with the loss of your mom, and then everything that's associated with that. We all know the trials of my emotional roller coaster ride. And why I mention this is because you have to place emotional boundaries on things. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes we feel guilty. We feel like, it's going to be...
We'll say yes because we don't want to deal with the guilt.
Mm-hmm. We're being selfish instead of self-caring. And then my personal favorite, and you said this, mistaking aggressive behavior as they love us.
Yeah, so I want to talk about emotional dumpster diving, which is, examples of it would be saying yes because you don't want to feel guilty.
Yep.
Having affairs because you don't want to be alone.
Yep.
Mistaking or confusing aggressive behavior with foreplay.
Yep.
Getting overly addicted to and into the bad boy.
Yep.
Like, that's a huge... I really want to talk about that a lot.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, I read a post actually from a lovely friend of mine, Rena, and she talked about reading when she was growing up Harlequin romances, and I, for one, would totally read Harlequin.
I picked up one or two.
Oh, I picked up about 10 or 12. I've
heard about that.
Yeah, and they are like pretty formulaic stories.
Yes,
right?
yes,
But
yes.
a lot of those Harlequin romances are, to be honest with you, really romanticizing, he was aggressive, he ignored me, and then he realized that he was mean to me, and he came and he took me and he loved me and he this and that and the
A
other.
night of passion,
That's
and it was a
right.
beautiful
it was
thing.
incredible.
and-
Yet he
yeah.
mistreated me for days, and then he felt bad, and then he decided that I was worth his time, and oh, it was wonderful, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
we've cut our teeth on that. Any one of us who have read these romances, and they're very, very popular. And there's some of the most popular books are these Harlequin romances. And thank God that that I became a little bit more intellectual later on in my life
God.
and read real books. But the point is that a lot of people read these books and they romanticize.
Like,
the
I want a man to
notion.
treat me like shit.
Yeah.
I just
Oh
want
yeah,
it.
because then he's gonna feel bad, or he's gonna turn around, or I'm gonna change
wanna
him,
feel
or I'm
that.
gonna win him over.
Yeah, no thanks.
Or I'm going to, be the one that he changes for.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
this kind of thing.
yeah.
And we may be laughing at it, but it is so effing common.
I want to address the bad boy syndrome
Yeah.
because I've been guilty of that, and Julia can speak to that as well. But before we get to that, I want to just go to Julia and just, how are you doing? How are you feeling? You're here tonight. Thank you. You're a trooper.
Yeah.
Y- y-
Everyone stay Purell. Coronavirus is a real thing.
It
No,
is.
not you.
Oh, I'm so like paranoid.
Yeah, but this is not coronavirus. This is a flu.
This is the flu.
cold. I'm
This is the flu.
paranoid, guys.
But how are you feeling? Like when I told you about what
This
we were going to be
topic.
talking about tonight, and just how you've been feeling about things, and I know you have a lot to say about it. How are you feeling about it? Because I think it's pretty accurate.
Pretty. I don't even know how to say it. Like pretty sunk in because
Yeah.
I've been there,
Yeah.
right?
But what is it about
like-
people not getting into the good guy?
I
Like,
think
why are they not
one
attracted
time,
to the good guy?
Yeah, like one time I think it happened, but other than that, I'm like, no, I always go for the person who's actually genuinely sweet, respects me, and buys me cheese, like But
And
no,
buys
there
me
was-
cheese.
Just thinking about it kind of brings me back to that moment where, I felt like I wasn't good enough as a person, so I thought I was allowing to be treated like trash,
Right. Right.
because it kind of just made me feel like, oh, for once I'm right. Like I'm actually a piece of shit. Like I have no self-love. This is a long time ago.
Okay.
Yes.
yeah, this was a long time ago.
But it goes back to vulnerability, and it goes back to
Yeah,
feeling
it was a
alone,
dark
and
time.
it feels it goes back to validation from some place else, somewhere else, someone else. It
Yeah.
goes back to we're looking for someone to fill that void that we have, right?
Well, there's that, and then there's a few reasons, I think. There's a few reasons. People get a little bit addicted to the high, the adrenaline of that
Yeah.
exciting experience. 'Cause
Yep.
I've had people tell me, oh, but it's just so, it's so easy. It's so easy. My relationship is so easy. I think that it's just a little bit boring. And I'm thinking, is it boring or is it healthy and you're just not used to that?
yeah,
You know, that's
Yeah.
So what do you make of that? This is very important too. And guys, I'm just waiting for my phone, and then we're going to get to the comments. Thank you again for tuning in. I'm going to give you a couple of scenarios, Victoria, because this is how we do, and I'm always very transparent with my experiences, because you know what, this is real life, and I'm not gonna
Don't need to BS here.
sugarcoat it. I never do, but there's a couple of situations. So first of all, this didn't happen to me, but this is I know people that are involved in this particular situation where there's a friend of ours, a group friend, and he has a bit of an edge, and just for the record, I like men that are a little bit edgy, that have a vibe, and that are not just plain vanilla. Now, not to be mistaken with the bad boy,
Plain
but
vanilla.
a little bit edgy. Like, instead of suggesting a coffee date for the first go around, let's go and do a dance date, or let's go and see our art gallery, or let's go
Or
to
let's just
a wrestling
go
event.
to Niagara Falls. Wait, but you just told me 5 minutes ago. Yeah, that's the point. Let's just go. Let's go.
A
have
little bit
fun.
more spontaneous, a little bit more impulsive.
So I love that.
And that's good. And
Yeah.
that's very good. And that's what I mean by edgy, as opposed to someone who just, Oh, thank you, Joseph. So anyway, in the meantime, though, there's a friend of ours, and he is single, but he has multiple women friends that he engages with casually on a regular basis. Okay.
Okay.
And now I don't know if all
But
those.
everyone knows about everybody.
Well, I think of 3 or 4 of them, I think one
Yeah.
or 2 know of one another, but I don't think
funny.
the other 2 know of any of
okay,
them.
so he's a bad boy.
He's a bad boy. And more
All right.
importantly than him being a bad boy, and I'm sure he's got a good, well, I know him. He does have a good heart somewhere there, but he's a bad boy. He's naughty. He knows what he's doing is wrong. He's playing in women every single week. And you know what kills me? This is what kills me. They all think that they're special.
Yeah.
They all think that they're the one. They all think that it's something about them that is going to or is changing him. Okay?
Yeah.
When in fact, I think it's something that they all want to believe because they're all feeling weak and vulnerable and dealing with all kinds of things. So certain bad boys prey on that.
Yeah,
Okay?
absolutely.
Now, fast forward, okay?
have
At
opinions
the
about
the
that.
nightclub. So a few of them were at the club at the same time, and what ended up happening was I don't know on any of this. I find out later. I get filled in, and I'm like, okay, so I know who the players are, who the people are involved, more or less. There's him. And he's dancing with a woman, whether she's one of the 4 or 5 or not. But the one that is part of this whole thing was there watching all of this go down. And she actually cares about him. And she's completely heartbroken. She's completely devastated.
yeah.
But more importantly than that, when he decides to end it with her or any of them, they're all shocked and surprised. And they
Yeah.
go into a tailspin.
This is the thing about this, the seduction, the allure of the bad boy. And it's this, I believe that there's a lot of family of origin normalizing bad behavior where your self-esteem is really low and possibly you had, some bullying or some really bullying in the home when you live under the same roof as your bullies, being maybe your parents were your bullies or maybe your brother was your bully or and I'm not saying just women, but I do want to do this here. It is women interested or overly attracted and addicted to the bad boy in this scenario, in this case study that we're talking about.
What about the whole? There's, I'm sure there's studies on this, Victoria,
there is.
going after men or women, but in this case, men
People who-
that you can't, that you can't have, but you're trying to
Be the special one.
be
that-
the
Yeah.
special one.
Yeah, there's a whole thing. There's, wanting to be the fixer, so fixing the problem guy.
Yeah.
Or fixing, or be the special one with the unattainable guy.
Yeah.
Or the guy who has shown himself to be aloof and gets off on that narcissistic game.
Oh, God.
Really gets off
Right.
on that whole
Yeah.
experience. And I'm here to say, newsflash, they're not changing. They're not changing. They're not going to make, you will not be more special if you win them. In fact, if you win them, you'll be burdened by them.
Oh.
That's the thing.
That's huge.
If
huge.
you win them, you'll be burdened by
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
And not only that, work on yourself. I mean, really work on yourself. Remember, you're in an addiction. And so you need 21 days to stop that addiction.
Yes.
So create like a barrier between you and them.
I'll take
Block
it.
their number.
I love that, Victoria. Not I love that in terms of like because it's happening, but I love how you say it and you're just always very raw, very real. You put it out there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: what is the correlation between rhetorical, I guess, but what is the correlation between being lonely and mistaking love
Yeah.
for being lonely? Because we will all convince ourselves of what we want to believe is happening, but in the end we really know what it's all about, so I think a lot of people mistake love for loneliness. So going back to being vulnerable, right? If someone feels that you're vulnerable and you're easy prey, right? And I hate to say it like that.
Kind of that though.
It's kind of that though. It's
But I think let's talk about loneliness because
Yeah.
I really would invite people to start to have a new relationship with being alone. People judge themselves for being alone. People
Yes.
think that they're less than or broken because they're alone. I mean, I just love it when someone's like, my time alone is amazing.
I love
No,
that.
I want to
Yeah.
give kudos to Julia.
I've
No,
been saying that for a
because
long
she
time.
said
Yeah,
it. She
I
goes,
I love it so
that.
much.
what did you say, Mom? If I stay home and have like my, what did you say? Like,
Like
your,
my
your
bu- like
smart
my-
food
Yeah,
and your,
like my popcorn, my robe, took a shower, have some Netflix in the back, a candle burning, and maybe like
Glory.
some, I don't know, but it's like,
Yeah.
thank God.
You know what I'm really proud of
Yeah.
Julia for? I have to honestly say, I mean, many things. But you know what I'm really proud of? There was a time, there was a cycle, right, where she was going through, like, you know, you want to get out there dating,
Yeah.
and you want to be meeting people,
Oh, yeah.
and you did that, and you said it, despite the experiences or how they all ended up or not, you know, didn't go the way you wanted, they were still experiences for you, right? But then, you know what she did? And I don't even want to call it self-correct, but in her mindset, she did.
Oh, wonderful.
She actually stopped the madness,
Great.
and she's been doing self-care and
Yeah,
being her
it's a
own
lot better,
woman
doesn't it?
for a
Yeah,
few
I've
months.
been actually not even a few months. The last time I had a serious relationship was 2 years ago.
But dating,
And I
I
just
mean,
and dating, I think I maybe dated 2 guys, not for a long time.
Yeah.
It was just like, I feel this as a friendship.
Yeah.
Like I just kind of, you know, like having a friend, whatever, cool, nice, good to know you. But after that, it just kind of dimmed, and I was like, but I'm good with myself.
Yeah.
And I just
and
don't.
that's such a powerful place to be in, to be good with yourself.
Yeah.
To be at peace with yourself, to create a new relationship with aloneness. Because aloneness doesn't mean you're lonely.
Yeah.
Lonely is like a judgment you're putting on the condition of being alone. And you have to watch that, because I have to say, elevate yourself past the judgment that people who are alone are less than. You're not less than. You're just alone.
It's like
Doesn't
things
mean,
that
it
you do
doesn't
with
mean-
other people. It's like try doing them like that you love doing. Try doing them by yourself. Like people have, actually asked, like, oh, like Julia, like, how do you go about this? And I'm just like, well, I go to the movies with my friends. I love it, right? I go
Yeah.
to the movies by myself, or watch a movie by myself at home. And then, like, yeah, sure, I get nervous the first time
Well,
a
of
couple
course,
times.
it's weird initially.
Right?
Yeah.
But then after I was like, you know what? I'm like, this is actually pretty nice. And then I just kind of got addicted to that, and I'm just good. I'm
You're
just
okay
fine.
with it.
Yeah.
isn't
okay
it
with it.
empowering, sweetie, when someone wants to maybe take you out or say, let's get together for coffee, and you're like, I'm good at home, or
Yeah,
I'm good
it's like,
doing
I'm
this, or I'm
fine.
out with my mom, or
It's
I'm
like,
out with
you
my
seem
friends,
nice
you know?
and stuff. I honestly, I'll genuinely respect it or whatever. I'm like, you seem very nice, but like, no, I'm like, no, I
You're
just
good on your
want
own.
to stay
You're good on
home.
your own.
That's
But
self-love,
the
though.
the other thing I would say is that there's this experience around aloneness that is overprotective, and we want to make sure it's not overprotective. We want to make sure it's genuine, which for you it sounds like it really is genuine. I like being on my own. So I want people to not be overprotective. I don't want them to have the walls up either. We want to have you be in relationship to other people, but not in a place where like my relationship with you fills my hole. No, fill your hole on your own.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
and that's the emotional dumpster diving.
This
Yeah.
one really hits
Experience.
home for me too, you guys, because I've been emotionally dumping for the last like several weeks. I have to tell you, and I had to, like, I just absolutely had to. I want to get to.
What were you doing? How are you emotionally dumpster diving?
Yeah.
Because emotional dumpster diving is, you know, saying yes when you don't want to say yes because you don't want to feel guilty.
Yes.
You know, having affairs so you're not alone.
No, okay.
Okay.
None of that.
You know, falling in love with and becoming overly embroiled with people who are abusive.
Okay, no, not that either. But I would say I would take it one step further and say really deeply caring for people that are emotionally depleting me.
And not disciplining yourself to create distance.
Correct.
Yeah, that's emotional dumpster
right?
diving, yeah.
So I did that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, how freaking liberating.
To stop, to let go of
Yes,
them,
yes, and I want to talk about
'Cause
that.
you were sick for a long time because of all this depletion you allowed.
You know what, you guys? Yes, Victoria knows this. You guys know this. So I went through a roller coaster, and bless you, bless
God,
you, sweetie.
bless you, good.
I
Be
went
good.
through a roller
Thanks.
coaster. Now, I want to know, first of all, before I forget, everybody on the thread, I'm going to get to the comments. If you guys, how you feel about Valentine's Day and the whole
Yeah.
week of Valentine's. If you feel
How are you doing with
yeah,
this?
happy. If you feel like, ugh, Valentine's. If you are dreading being alone. If you like being alone. What's your take on it? We want to hear from you.
You know
but
what? Sorry.
oh, sorry. Go
Oh no, I
ahead.
was just
Go
just
ahead.
a little quick thought about
Yeah.
that. You know what pisses me off about Valentine's Day? I
What?
see it mostly on the women's side, but men too. What pisses me off if they sometimes they think that Valentine's Day is gonna fix their abusive relationship.
Oh, well, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's
This
just
is
like that
exactly the kind of
holiday
stuff.
thinks it's gonna fix it.
This is
You
the
know what?
exact thing
Yeah,
we're
it's
talking
like
about.
when people are, I don't know, I'm not the expert, but people are not in happy marriages and they think having a baby is going to solve
Yeah.
the problem. You
Well, there's
know?
a-
I know. That's a Pandora's box on its own, isn't it?
Gotta say, I've seen that recently a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, and then they end up in these really bad relationships, and they can't just leave the relationship because now they have children.
Yes.
So, and they're financially intertwined with the relationship, and that is the epitome of emotional dumpster diving.
Yes,
you know?
yes,
And it
yes.
all comes I do therapy with various people, and it all comes down to not having self-worth, and it's that self-worth is just so important that you cultivate it.
So,
That's so important. I mean, we'll talk about that. I want to talk about dating and Valentine's Day and texting and
Oh,
all
yeah.
of that stuff.
Oh,
But
yeah.
This stuff is so important,
and I'm going to give Victoria, I'll be the science project again. I'm going to give Victoria, sorry, where do I see the, what
You
am I?
saw some
No,
good
sorry.
Yeah, I'm reading the
I don't know
comments,
why
too.
my screen is looking like that. Sorry, guys. But what I was going to say was, what happened there? I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm doing.
You know everything. You're good.
All of a sudden, I think I may have hit a button, but no.
No, but it's
Oh,
all-
you
all the
started a
comments
watch
are not
party.
on-
I started a launch party
A watch party.
while we're live.
Oh,
Can you end it?
I said leave for now.
that's okay.
That's
Okay.
funny.
We'll get it going.
Okay. So what I was just going to say, you guys, is I always use my examples because I want Victoria. Like, I want to be the science project. I don't mind. I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with it, right? But for me, what I ended up doing was at the end of the year, New Year's Day, actually, I got really sick. It was the start of a 5-week.
You sure did.
5 weeks of really sick and 2 strains of flu and 2 rounds of antibiotics later. Now,
It's unbelievable.
It is. I didn't miss a show either, but I wasn't
That's
at the
incredible.
top of my game, But here's where I'm going with this, you guys. I'm in bed. I'm in pajamas, okay? And you know what I was thinking? I started becoming a little resentful, and I don't like it. I don't like being resentful because I'm a happy-going person. I care about people. But when you're sick, you start to reflect. And I've been there for so many people, and I take time away from like my busy schedule to be there for people.
You're
And
very good with that.
I really try to be. I want to be there for people. I care about people. But there was a couple of instances, 2 or 3 instances, I would say, with 2 or 3 different people, men. And
Men.
I want to say it's men. Love you
Men.
guys. But what happened was, but what happened? No, but it makes a big difference, I think, because we are talking about this emotional dumpster diving as it pertains to men, and like a lot of our guests have said before, and Victoria has said, and Julia has said, a lot of times when people are broken, men and women are broken, they don't have the capacity to even understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I found? This is what I found. I'm in bed. I am trying to get over this, whatever it is, every single day. And I started to realize like how much time I was giving to people. And at the end of the year, Victoria, between Christmas, my late husband's birthday and everything, I was so emotionally depleted
Yeah.
that I didn't have the fuel to take care of myself because I had spent weeks and months before giving it to others, right? So in the end, I started to be resentful of that. And I don't like to
Which
be
is
resentful.
the worst
I don't like
state
it.
of being. Resentment
I didn't
is
like it.
such an emotionally, immunologically depleting state of being.
100%.
So here's what happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Here's what happened. I was very self-aware of the root causes, and I had to put boundaries, which I did.
Good for you.
And in a couple of cases, I had to address the situation. But the recipients of what I was saying weren't appreciating it and didn't understand, and were not.
They were like, "Who are you?"
They were not having it. And
Like,
it,
excuse me, why are you
they
being
were
like
not
this?
having it, and they were
No
what's the
thanks.
term? Trying to make me feel like I'm
Guilty?
Yeah, trying to make me feel like I'm wrong, and I've got it all wrong, and I don't know them, and I don't know what I'm talking about, and whatever. And I just realized afterwards, again, reflecting, going, wow, like I am so self-aware that I realize what the heck is going on right
Well,
now.
good job.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about awareness. But I have this formula that I've told you guys about awareness, but awareness alone can do nothing.
Yeah.
But change, you need awareness. And I used to say persistence,
Yes,
courage,
yes.
repetition. But it's really awareness, then disrupt that awareness, disrupt the old pattern. And then persistence and repetition. So awareness
Right.
plus disruption
Right.
plus persistence and repetition equals
Yeah.
change.
Love
Right.
it.
So change through awareness first, and then start to disrupt that behavior.
So how about
Good
this?
job.
So
Like, you did that.
Yes,
You know?
I did. And a month goes by, okay, and I put those boundaries. Now, slowly trying to get back in there, and I'm like, okay, naively, but not naively, thinking things might change here. No. Within 48 hours, it's back to the same patterns, the same sponging, the same.
They didn't learn.
No, and the same like dumpster diving and enabling, and I'm the enabler. And then I cut. The last time it took me, 3 months. This time it took me 3 days. Done.
So you're getting, you'll know that in a repetition of a pattern, the shorter the shorter time of your awareness and activation of a new pattern, the healthier you're actually becoming.
Yeah.
I was feeling very guilty that I had to do that until I wasn't feeling guilty anymore.
Well, I was gonna say, let the guilt not lead you.
I know.
You know what I
You know
always,
that-
you know what I always
I
say,
know.
even as part of the French. I said, "Oh, if I'm being blunt here, right? But if I sound like an asshole, so be it. But I'm being honest. I'm being the genuine person I can.
that's
so if I
good.
sound like this, well, I mean, would you rather have me lie?
No, exactly.
No, that's very true. And you know what? I want to get to the comments, guys. First of all, sorry. I know there was a whole bunch of comments at the beginning, and because we're in real time here, I think I missed a few. We'll get back to them.
It's so weird that some of them don't show. when you
Yeah, and
scroll
some
all
of them
the
are not
top.
showing unless Julia can see them and she can respond. But I'll take it right from the top where I can see them, and we'll get back and we'll respond to every single one later, okay?
Yeah.
Jimmy, hey Jimmy, how are you? Thank you always so much for tuning in, and thank you for finally sending me a Facebook friend request.
Yeah,
I'm just
thank
saying.
you. Me too. I
Thank
accepted.
you. He says, if you're having that great time alone and someone comes to visit, would you open the door? So I guess that
Yeah,
might be.
I would visit. I'd be like, yeah. I
Would you let
answer.
someone in? Like if somebody came to
Like,
visit.
listen, I got my roll on, my Netflix. I got some cake. I'll make some coffee, but I'm not making dinner. Okay, I'm relaxing right now, so you can either join me with a movie or just, see you next time.
And you're picking up the pizza.
Yeah, and you're buying.
Ryan Radin, how are you, Ryan? Thank you so much for tuning
true.
in. He says, sometimes we equate being alone with being lonely. They are not the same because you can be alone and still feel fulfilled and happy, which makes you appreciate
Totally.
yourself and your
Yeah.
presence among others. However, you can be
And
among
if
hundreds.
you do feel that feeling, work on yourself.
Yeah.
Work on yourself.
Yeah, that's very true. However, you can be among hundreds or even thousands
And
and feel
alone.
lonely
Exactly.
because you do not know who you are and you are not happy with who you are.
Yeah. Because it comes down to that, doesn't it, Ryan?
Yeah.
That you're
Yeah.
not happy with yourself. And so you have to ask the biggest question you can ask yourself is, why am I not happy with myself? What's missing? What am I not giving myself? If the answer is, well, it's missing is another person, go back and look at yourself. What's missing
Yeah.
within you?
Yeah.
And I want you to remember this. You matter. Put your hand on your heart, everybody. You matter. You matter.
In the chat, guys, you matter.
you
in the
matter.
chat.
You matter. I matter.
Yeah.
In the check?
In the chat.
Oh, I
In the
heard in the
chat, yeah.
check. I was like,
You
check.
matter. You matter. You're valuable and you matter.
I like
no matter
that.
what's happening, you
love
matter.
it.
You don't have to perform to get love.
And you know what? I love that. You don't have to perform to get love. And here's another thing, too, you guys, going back to the guilt, okay?
Such a cruel feeling, eh?
Yeah.
Because I always say this, we're caring, heart-centered people. If we are trying to be there for others who are not in a good space, who are broken, who are feeling unloved or not worthy, right? As soon as I don't want to say call them out, but as soon as I say, look, this is not working for me and this is why, right? It's almost like the message that they're receiving is that they're being dumped on and they're not good enough and I'm being really cruel. But at what point where's the fine line between self-preservation, right?
Yeah.
And taking care of
That's
yourself
number one.
and protecting someone else's feelings.
Oh my gosh, I really
Yeah.
got to tell you, it's really hard to
Yeah.
protect someone else's feelings. Here's why. You can say whatever you're saying perfectly, nicely, kindly, gently, and they'll still react.
Yes.
So that is a,
And they're
that's
still
a
gonna
thing.
react. Oh,
That's a
God.
thing. Some
Reminds me of
people,
high school.
you know, there's I always say, you know, make sure you end that text with a smiley face. You know, make sure you say nice
LOL.
things. LOL, sweetheart, my darling, whatever, nice things. But people may go great to that, and then it's a luck of the draw, and they may have their back up because you've simply rejected them or said no to them, and then they react in volatile, you know, whatever ways. All I can say is, have you ever tried to drive your car with your foot on the gas and your foot on the brakes at the same time? You
No.
can't,
When
right?
I
You're
was
gonna go-
learning to drive, possibly.
yeah, no. You're gonna go nowhere. Or if you're trying to write a letter and you're editing at the same time, it just slows you down.
Yes.
You can't do the two at the same time. When you're self-caring, sometimes other people's feelings will get hurt, and you can't manage the two necessarily at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
What you can be is fair, kind, loving,
Yes.
gentle. You can do all that and a bag of chips. But honestly, sometimes people get offended anyways.
Yeah.
I wanna-
yeah.
I
Have you ever
wanna-
experienced that?
Yeah.
Some people are going to get
yeah, long
offended
time.
anyways. That's very true.
I mean, I can't tell you how real that is for me.
I want to
Also,
talk.
like
Oh, sorry. No,
I
no,
was
go
gonna
ahead,
say,
go ahead,
also,
baby.
another thing, it's like, don't ever be reliant on someone to feel love. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that is a hugely important thing.
Yeah.
Now, let me be clear. We don't have to be reliant on others for love.
Yeah.
But we are wired as humans for connection.
yeah.
That is
Yeah.
our purpose. We are purposefully on this planet to connect, to relate,
Yeah.
to commune,
Yeah.
to create community. That is definitely our purpose as humans. But there is a difference between doing that healthily and doing that unhealthily.
Yeah.
Where you're going to self-harm,
yeah.
you know.
Exactly.
with it. So
And that's a segue. I do want to get to the comments, but Victoria, I'll give you a second, and we'll get back to it. How are people, do you think, feeling right about now entering Valentine's week? You know, so
I got the pulse. I
The
got
L-
my
the
hand on the
LCBO
pulse.
is
yes,
quite
give
busy
that
this
give that a
week.
second, and we'll be back to that. Lorena, thank you so much for tuning in. Always a pleasure to see you on here. Renato, how are you? Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Really appreciate it. Vortex, how are you? All the way from Dubai. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
wow.
Yes,
Fabulous.
he says,
That's
be
nice.
your own Valentine. To be honest, absolutely. I like that very much. Lorena says, or intoxicated relationship. Yeah, like there's the toxic relationships, and then the intoxicated where one or the partner is maybe an alcoholic, if that's what she's referring to. So that can be very abusive.
Or violent.
Or violent.
Or
Yeah.
not physically violent, but emotionally toxically manipulated.
Like a con artist.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
Oh my God.
Oh,
the
I've been
con
there.
artist.
Super controlling.
Oh, that was annoying.
Like,
Actually,
you know,
I remember
you
I had
cannot-
this one guy. You
con
spend too much
artist.
time with your mom. If you want to stay in this relationship, you gotta stop hanging out with your mom. I swear to God, or whatever. And then
Wow.
he
And
goes,
you buy too much,
How
and you
come-
spend too much money on cheese.
Yeah, listen to this. One time, quick story. The quick story. So one time we go grocery shopping. I'm on Res. I'm like, okay, I want the Havarti. I want the Parm. I'm a cheese connoisseur. And he goes, give me this. Here, take this one. It's like the lower than no name $2 cheese. Obviously, it's not
No.
real. I look at him. Don't you ever take my cheese away from me if you want to see
Because if
another
we
day.
gotta choose between the cheese and you, baby,
Yeah.
I'm choosing the cheese.
Yeah.
And she
right?
did.
Yeah, I did. And then he also said about like, oh, like my best friend Craig. And he goes, oh, you know, you guys hang out with him. I don't care, whatever. I don't trust any of them. You know what I said to him? Yeah, I'm packing my bags. I said, see you later.
See ya.
Don't you dare
Wouldn't
ever.
wanna be ya.
Right?
And-
And I
and-
called them up. Craig was in Alberta, but I'm like, yo, when you get here, we're ordering a pizza.
Speaking of Craig, speaking of
Is this your
Craig,
birthday?
It's his
it's his
birthday
birthday today.
Happy birthday to ya.
I'm sorry,
Sing.
no, I can't.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
We got a few
birthday
versions
to
going.
you.
Okay, hold on.
Happy birthday, dear Craig. I love you. And have a fantastic
Craig, we're gonna try it again. Just a second. Hang on. Go ahead. Do your.
I can't.
Okay,
You
ready?
wanna
All
join
three.
me?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Craig. Happy birthday to you. Not bad, eh? Not bad.
Love
Pretty
it.
good. Greg, hope you have a wonderful birthday. Hope to see you soon.
Some of these comments. Holy
So
I know there's so
many.
many, and I want to try to get to it. We got Mike. Hey, Mike, how are
Keep
you?
them
Hope
coming.
I'm so glad to see you on here. Lorna Dillon is watching. Hey, Lorna.
Lorna
Thank
says
you so
hello.
much.
Stuff.
Yeah, Lorna's always got so much, especially on these topics, because
Yeah.
again, we're talking about we've got
Real
viewers,
deals.
real deals, 100%. Dwayne Mightley, how are you? Always a pleasure to see you on here. Thank you so much. Vicky says agreed. Hey, Vicky, nice to see you on here. She
Hey.
says agreed. Nothing worse than an addiction to someone, and that's very, very true. James Leach is watching. Hey, James, it's been a while. How are you?
Hello,
Great to see you
James.
on here. Vicky says, make your mama your Valentine's. They all do so much. You know what?
Yeah.
And actually, Valentine's, I have to tell you, Valentine's Day is hard for me.
Aw.
And my husband loved Valentine's. It was his
Did he?
holiday. Yeah, complete with the way too many expensive roses and
Aw.
the chocolates that went right to my booty and the
course.
Love You teddy bear, and it was lovely. So over the years, the first, okay, I'm going to tell you, I mean, we know this, the first few Valentines I wallowed and I didn't want to do anything.
Well,
But the
yeah.
last many Valentines, me, Julia, Felicia, we go and there's always a cheesy romantic comedy at the theater. We always go check it out. We always have dinner. We always overdo it with popcorn, butter, and white cheddar. And we
Oh,
have
the
such
white
a great
cheddar
time.
toppings are to
And we
die for.
celebrate, like you've always said, we did with Christmas and others. We
Celebrate it
celebrate
on your own terms.
Celebrate it. And yeah, you know what? Sure, I feel lonely and I feel upset about it because I'm like, I had him and what a beautiful thing, and now I'm alone. But I'm not alone, And we
Well,
really
you are without a partner.
I'm without a
but
partner.
That doesn't mean that you're lonely.
Yeah.
and in a bad
Yes.
place.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Exactly. I was in a bad place years ago. Trust me. Oh my God. The milestone days a year, brutal. And I feel terrible for my family that had to watch me go through that and try to deal with it. And I just retreated, But now, oh yeah, all bets are off. We really try to embrace it. And you know what? It's okay. Julia always says, I don't really like the commercialization of Valentine's, and that's okay, right? Maybe if you had a partner, you might feel the same way because she says it all the time.
Remember,
Yeah.
when I had a boyfriend, like it doesn't like 2, maybe 3 of them. Yeah, I know. But anyways, it would be during Valentine's Day. I still hated it. I was just like, I appreciate you trying. I love that, but no, I hate it. I just don't like it. It's like, I don't know.
Well, but
It's like you're joining a cult. Like you're in a cult.
it's a Hallmark holiday, right?
Yeah.
It's not exactly.
True, excuse me.
Bless you. For all the people that are, for example,
Bless you.
married, and I'm married, long-term marriage. This is a time where I really encourage all of my couples to do special things.
Yes.
But it can't be the only day that you do special
Yeah,
things.
yeah. That's
Right.
exactly
It
it.
needs to
Yeah.
be constant.
Right.
And Dr. John Gottman, who was the father of couples therapy, he was also a mathematician, and he could predict within 10 minutes of being with a couple whether or not they were going to last or not. And he literally
Really?
Oh yeah, and I quote him extensively in my second book, Connecting: Rewire Your Relationship Culture. Check it out on my website. What I want to say to you is this: the keys to a long-term, passionate, happy marriage are not break out the flowers and champagne on Valentine's Day. In fact, I would say don't do Valentine's Day. Do any other day like Valentine's Day.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
My hubby is
Hi, Kevin.
Yeah, hi Kevin.
Hi,
he
Kevin.
cooks. He's a guy who cooks. He's a guy who tidies up. He super helps me. I'm a super busy entrepreneur in various ways, and he's super helpful. I see that as super romantic. And
Yes.
super sexy. Like it's just so great,
Men, get
Kevin
out there.
Fabish, everybody. Kevin Fabish.
Yeah, good job, Kevin Fabish. Like nicely done.
No, it's true. I like that.
He goes and gets the car for me, so I don't have to go into the garage.
Yeah.
And he's like, get out there. You need to get on time or whatever it may be. It's like he's a really good dude, and I always sort of go, oh, but I really want something for Valentine's. It's like, hey man, every day is Valentine's Day,
Right.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so why do we have to play into a Hallmark holiday? Now, if you're gonna play into a Hallmark holiday, Valentine's Day, cool, but make sure that you sort of see it as this is not the only time I'm gonna do this.
I would celebrate Valentine's Day the day after. 70%
I love
off all
it.
chocolates.
Yeah, you got
70% off.
something.
Here's
You
another
got
take on
true.
this, okay? I over the years, like the last few, I was asked out for Valentine's by perhaps the gentleman that I was talking to over a period of time. Remember, you got the January leading into Valentine's, okay? And I got to tell you guys, you're tempted. Well, no, it's good, but you're tempted to go through with the whole pomp and circumstance because it's romantic and someone cares about
and
you.
it's socially validating.
It's socially validating, and it's, wow, I'm living my best life for like 24 hours. But I have to tell you, I never went through with it because I wasn't feeling them that way. And I did not want to just pretend like I was feeling that way just to be part of a holiday that I feel isn't necessarily going to validate a relationship anyway, you know?
And this is not to discourage people who want to, you know, go out there, but, you know, and do the Valentine's date. But be mindful that it's something, it's not everything. It's just a day. It's just a day.
Do you remember that one year when someone asked you out and you didn't realize till the last minute that it was on Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
I reminded her and she's like, what?
Yeah, this kid's like, he goes, and oh my God, who was it? I don't remember now. But he goes and says, yeah, like, how about
Thursday night?
On Thursday night. I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem. Cool. I'm down. Whatever. We'll hang out, go to the movies. Cool. The day of comes. Actually, no, it was actually the day.
It was the night before.
And my mom goes, oh, wait, tomorrow night. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going out tomorrow. Just letting you know I'm going to the car or whatever. You know, tomorrow night's Valentine's. Like, tomorrow's Valentine's Day, right? And I was like this. No, it's not. It's on Friday. And no. It's tomorrow.
14th tomorrow.
And I'm like, oh, this. I'm like, nah. I was actually freaking out, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of like, yeah.
And he didn't realize it either.
He didn't realize. Actually, funny story. He realized it was, and he actually messaged me the day of, and said, "Hey, do you think we can reschedule?"
Oh no.
And like this,
just
this
realize
and
that today's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, like because I thought,
buddy.
maybe that's what he was trying to go for. Try to pretend.
He also didn't know.
He also didn't know, which made him basically cancel.
But is there an expectation when you go out on Valentine's with someone?
There totally is. I think that if you're in a new
it was kind of like
flirty thing, and they take you out on Valentine's Day, they're looking for something.
Yeah, that's
serious.
why I was like,
let's talk about dating though, and I've said this before.
Before we get to it,
yes.
hold a thought. Okay. Sorry, guys.
No, go.
All right. But yes, we're going to talk about our favorite subject. Alessandra is watching. Hey, sweetie, how are you?
Hello,
Our
Alessandra.
family from Windsor. Say hi to everybody. I hope you're doing well. Susie Pinto is watching. Susie, thank you so much. Robert Moore, thank you for tuning in. Lorena says, yeah, that's for sure, girl. And I've seen girls who get really intoxicated with their relationship and thinking that their mans have been cheating on them, and they try to go back with their boyfriends or husband, or sometimes the other way around.
Yeah.
Or what about when they blame you for cheating? They actually say to you, "Oh, well, you're cheating on me," but it's because they're cheating on you.
Right. Well, that's a whole other.
Yeah, I've been
Victoria. Michelle Ann is watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. James says it keeps saying couldn't play video.
Wow.
Probably because I pushed the watch party.
moment.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Lorna says I love cake. Vicky says I matter. Yes, lots of I matters. You matters.
You matter.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Simon Buckton is watching. Simon, oh my God, I need to give him a special shout out. Simon is my social media friend all the way from the UK.
Yeah.
And Simon is very, very vocal and has been advocating for mental health for as long as I've known
God
him.
bless ya.
Excuse me, on social media. Simon, thank you so much for
Thank
tuning in,
you.
sending you love. Keep doing what you're doing. You're helping so many people.
God bless you.
Andrew Cordero is watching. Hi,
Hey,
Andrew.
Andrew.
Andrew, having taken the seat next to me the other night on our
did great.
business edition. It was really fun. It was really good. There's a lot of nuggets of information that we disseminated.
Totally.
And Carly Eckert is watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Laura Stanzo is watching. We've got so much, Lorna says, I have learned many valuable lessons. One important one being, don't take things personally. You are not responsible for anyone's feelings, just your own.
Yeah, I mean, essentially. And, obviously take responsibility for how you communicate, but you can't really control other people's feelings.
Yeah, that's very important. Hence why the guilt, right?
Yeah.
The guilt of do I just put up with this, or do I say like, this is not really working for me? And then, you know what, when people get defensive, I've learned that a lot of times I have to appreciate where they're at, which is not maybe where I'm at, but you have to still follow and stay true to yourself.
Every time you feel guilty, every time you feel like, listen, if you've stolen something, feel guilty. If you've hurt someone deliberately, feel guilty. But if you're just feeling generalized guilt because you don't want someone else to feel bad, that's not productive, healthy at all. So every time you feel guilty, unhook. Literally tell your body, unhook. Unhook. Imagine there's a hook inside you. That's the guilty feeling. Take your thumbs and unhook.
Yes.
Unhook,
Yes.
unhook, unhook. Everybody together. Unhook,
unhook, unhook.
Again.
Unhook, unhook, unhook.
You feel guilty? Unhook,
unhook, unhook.
Let the bass
Yes.
drop.
That was good. Nice and healing. Ryan Radin says, I like to do something nice for my female friends just to let them know that they are appreciated. Ryan, that's very nice. Rosa, I don't know if it's Rosa Ragu. Rosa, I'm so sorry, Rosa, if I pronounce the last name incorrectly. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing very well. I know you've been really busy lately, and keep on with your endeavors. And her birthday's coming up next week as well, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday, Valentine's week as well.
Yeah.
Lorna says, what a dummy. There is never too much cheese, and spend all the time in the world with your mom.
Right? If I ever,
Thank
I'm
you.
telling you right now, if someone said, would you rather, have like, a perfect relationship and zero toxicness and like the man of your dreams, or would you rather have that nice brick of Parmesan cheese, the cheese all the way? Sorry.
She means it too.
Are you kidding? I've
She
done
means
it before.
too. A lot of happy birthday messages to Craig on here. Thank you
makes me
guys.
happy. I'm okay
Nelia
with that.
Ramos Guerrero is watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Jesse Small is watching. Hey Jesse, how are you? I hope you've been well. Ryan says, I like to do nice things for my female friends on Valentine's Day just to let them know that they are appreciated. And sometimes I take time to show love because I do not know what they may be going through on Valentine's Day.
Ryan Radin, are you single? And if you are, you should be meeting some good women because you're a nice guy.
You know what? Very much so. Tiziana is watching. Hey, how are you?
Hey,
long time. I
Tiziana.
haven't seen you in a long time. I hope you're well. Wayne Kuhn is watching. We've got Maria Mogel is watching. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Nice
Lorna
for-
says,
lots of tune-ins.
Oh, beautiful. Every day is love day. I love taking care of myself and showing love to all. My fave things to do, buying flowers and dark chocolates for myself.
Yes.
Ah, a little milk chocolate. Too.
Again, 70%
Milk
off all
chocolate.
Shoppers
How about
Drug
white
Marts.
chocolate?
15th of
Oh,
February.
I love the white chocolate too, and then as Julia said, the next day 70%
Yeah, that's
off
the
all
real
chocolate.
holiday when you see all of it on sale.
Exactly.
Jimmy says Valentine's is a day for the men to help clean the house, make dinner, give a romantic massage naked.
Oh.
Yeah, he's waiting for the finish.
Yes,
The happy finish.
the happy fit. I won't even. Okay.
I'll shut up now.
We got Rohan Blair is watching. We've got DJ Victor is watching. Hey, DJ,
Hey, DJ
Victor,
Victor.
how are you? Always love your sets. Keep doing what you're doing. Rosa Rivera says, hello, ladies. Lucy Rizzo is watching. How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in.
Hello.
Anna Yanni is watching. How are
Hi.
you? My dear friend, excuse me, we've got Maureen watching. DJ Victor says, let's salsa. And, Jermelin Patricia Barnes is watching. Hi, lovely.
Jermelin.
How are you? And, as you know, Jermelin being our relationship expert and, of course, dear friend, and she talks a lot about this stuff from her own personal experiences. It's really interesting, because sometimes we feel like we are, and thanks for all the comments, you guys. Keep them coming. Sometimes we feel that, Julie and I talk about this all the time, the therapist syndrome, right? Being the therapist to somebody.
What
because,
is that about? People
Okay.
want to be therapists to other people. I think that's just
It's not even
incredible pattern.
maybe
Yeah.
not even them wanting to be, maybe them seeing that the person they're talking to gets mistaken with friendship and being a therapist.
Well, I think that when we want to be someone's helper, fixer, therapist,
Yeah.
if you're not getting paid as a legitimate psychotherapist,
Yeah.
like
Did you
myself,
send out those invoices yet?
Exactly. Basically, what's happening is we're getting a high. We're getting a self-esteem boost
Yeah.
from being, the other person's fixer, and we invest in the outcome of their success.
Yes.
We invest in the outcome of their well-being, and it never works out because when we invest in other people's outcomes, they're precarious. They may change. They may not do what you've given advice on, and then you feel disappointed.
Too many variables.
Too many variables.
Too many variables.
It's kind of like it's shaky territory to be putting your sense of self-esteem on that. And that's an important pattern to really undo. But I want to definitely talk about the dating thing that people get to know people through texting.
Oh,
they spend a lot of time getting to know the person through texting, and they develop a fantasy about what the person looks like or what the person is like, and then they meet them in person. They've wasted all this time on texting, and then you go to the one coffee date and you're like, yeah, no. And I just want people to stop it.
Stop the madness.
Stop.
I have a scenario that happened today.
Same kind of thing?
Well, I'll share it. And I want your take on it, okay? So there was a gentleman that I talked to last year, and I ended up just stopping talking to him. And the reason for that is because he was very selfish. We never met in person, just so you know, through texting and through WhatsApping and whatever. And we had a couple of phone conversations, okay? And he's real. He's on social media. I want to say he owns his own business, you know, because I did my investigative journalism, you know. What I want you that's right, Joseph. What I want to say, guys, is that very good looking, fit like a god, like, okay, could have any woman he wants and all. But I was attracted to that first. But he's also very intellectual, very smart, but emotionally got nothing. He does, but he doesn't. As in, he admitted to me, like, I'm very selfish because I'm working 90, 100 hours a week. This was last year. And he goes, I'm doing this for my clients. I only have between the hours of 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. because he's up at 5 in the morning, you know, works till 10 o'clock. So he goes, I only have time for women to come over to my condo between the hours of 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. And that's the best that I can do. So if you want that and you want to come over once or 100 times, I'm in.
At least he's transparent.
Very. So anyway, I stopped talking to him because I was like, listen, you are good looking, you are attractive, that's fantastic, oh my God. But you know, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to get married, but I'm not looking for that. I need some substance. And he didn't understand. He goes, what do you mean? I go, I need a conversation. I need some connection. I need something. Okay, no problem. He messaged me today out of the blue. Okay. And of course, I didn't recognize the number because I don't have it in my contacts. And he sent me a picture of him so that I knew who it was. And he says to me, hi, Mrella. He goes, I hope you're doing well. He goes, I saw your number. Scrolling through my list. Saw your number.
Proud, really.
Scrolling through my list of how many. Saw your number. Thought I would, reach out and say hi. And he goes, I always thought you were, really nice, and thank you for giving me the time of day. And he goes, but you probably hate my guts. And then he says, and rightfully so if you don't respond, so that whole kind of guilty, like, oh, I'm really nice,
and I'm over here saying, don't respond.
He left
and
if
for
you
a
don't
reason.
he didn't. I left.
Well, you know what
I
mean.
didn't even get to know him.
And
he goes, but if you don't respond, I understand, blah blah blah. So I responded 2 hours later, but here's where I'm going with this. I responded 2 hours later, but it got really messy really quickly. And the same reasons I stopped talking to him last year are exactly the what he displayed today, right? Got very defensive, was very opinionated, which I can respect. That's okay. Was very judgmental, started gaslighting, started accusing me of not knowing him for who he was, this, that, and the other, not giving him. I said to him, dude, I suggested a coffee or get together for a drink, even though I don't drink. And you basically said, I can't do that. But if you want to come to my condo and have some fun, I don't even know you. I've never met you. Let me just go to some random guy's place, right? So I said to him, are your hours any better? No. And he goes, these are my terms. And if you don't like it, well, then I don't
like
like
some 50
it.
Shades of Grey stuff. Here's the contract that you got to sign.
And
with all
that's
my
exactly what I
rules.
said, Victoria and Julia. I said, listen, dude, I do not abide by your terms or your contract. I go, some vulnerable, lonely woman, and I was that woman 4 years ago, might have taken you up on your offer, but this woman is not.
Yeah.
So I said, have a good week. Best of luck. Thanks for reaching out. And then I blocked him because I realized he has access to my number and I didn't want to go through that. But it caused me anxiety for an afternoon. And why? Like, so you still want me to
What a
abide by
dick.
your terms? I just
What a
said no.
dick.
Doesn't work for me. But not before he said, you're actually going to turn down this.
Let me.
Oh, wow. What a
we like a thick
narcissist.
man.
Yeah. You know, I really think that the
We love you guys.
journey always improves with the outside world when the journey improves with the inside world, and it's an inside job.
Oh, I love that.
know,
Let's
so,
round
you
of
know, it's
applause
like-
to that.
And you know, the fact that you feel better about yourself and you feel more complete and you feel more genuinely whole within yourself, you're not going to allow for that stuff. And that's what people need to do when they're in the dating scene.
Yeah.
When they're in the dating scene, and when they're in the relationship world. In the relationship world, I got to tell you, I have to say, back to the Harlequin romance that a lot of
Yes.
people cut
The
their
Harlequin
teeth.
romance.
You know, they
Yeah.
cut their teeth on. That's the ideal, romantic experience. This bad boy. So I want to ask people to give me their stories of their overly into the bad boy thing, and why are they not into, a good, healthy, nice guy. Good, healthy, nice guys can be super sexy, and you just have to hold out.
You know
for
what they
it.
say? Shy on the streets and sexy in the sheets.
That's right. Shy on the street.
That's what they say.
That's what the truth is.
I'm going to give you a part 2, Victoria. So one of my girlfriends, I was telling her about this situation. She called me just before the show. This was about 6:00 tonight. And she called me. She's like, oh, you ready for tonight? I haven't seen you in a while. Let's get together for dinner. And I was telling her about this situation with the guy. Okay. And I sent her a picture. And I sent her a picture because I wanted to let her know, like, this guy, this behavior, and this is what I did. And I'm
Yeah.
really proud of myself. Okay.
Good for you.
I really am. Do you know what she said to me? And I love her to death. And if she's watching, she knows who she is. You know what she said to me? She was, Marilla, she goes, he's hot. Who cares? You could have gone over, had your fun, and left. Who cares? You're never going to see him again. Look how hot he is. And I get that. I understand that. Okay. But
Wasn't what you wanted.
But, again, like 3 or 4 years ago, I would have been like, he's attractive. He's interested in me. I'm not marketable. I'm feeling down. This is going to make me feel better. Let me go. Blah, blah, blah. No. Tonight, you know what I said to her? Yes, but there's a lot of hot guys out there that are not douches and aren't acting like this and are not actually saying, these are my terms. And if you don't like it, well, I don't like it. Right? Somebody else would have. But you know why,
So
maybe?
you're not as into the bad boy as you might have been at another time.
Perhaps, but also I'm self-aware that I love myself and I don't need to go there for validation.
That's right.
Right? But maybe other people are like, they don't recognize the differences. So they're like, oh, you know what? He works really hard and this is the only time he could see me.
Yeah.
So I'll make the concession and drive an hour to go see him. What about us?
So, but let me just also throw a monkey wrench into this whole logic. What if you're a super self-assured
Yep.
woman
Yep.
and you're into casual sex
Yep.
and you're cool with a bit of what Erica Jong used to call in her book Fear of Flying. Anybody ever read that book?
I have
The
not.
zipless fuck, which is
Is that what she calls it?
Which she called in the Erica Jong's.
I'm writing this
Yeah,
down.
Fear of Flying, really good book. Pretty hot and steamy book. The anti-Harlequin romance. It's the woman empowering herself and saying, I would like some hot sex, and there's no relationship needed. There's no commitment needed.
There's no conversation needed.
I'm going to do that, and this is what this book is about. And I say there is absolutely a place for casual sex. That a woman wants to.
Thanks, Joseph.
And the producers are
Sponsored by
coming crazy.
Frequency 5
Yes,
FM, ladies and gentlemen.
and you can empower yourself to do that. Just make sure you have clear boundaries with yourself and that you don't have ridiculous expectations. Believe people.
And that you're okay with it.
That's right. You've got to do some work within yourself to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Don't just go recklessly into that. Don't just go recklessly into that and then become heartbroken and don't also harm yourself deliberately by entering into these relationships.
And I wouldn't have been okay with it. And that's why.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
I have clients that are or friends or people I know that are perfectly okay with that, and we work and troubleshoot this notion of being okay with anonymous or safe but anonymous and casual sex.
Yes.
And where there's no expectations on both sides. But you got to be super clear. What are people saying about what I'm saying?
I know.
I was saying, Jimmy goes, did you respond? I only answer messages between 1 and 2 p.m. followed by, or maybe forward him a number of a sex hotline so he can please himself during his free hours.
Oh my God.
And then Vortex says, the good old scrolling through my list. LOL. Like how many people you have on your list? I hit the jackpot today. Wow. I do want to do a shout out, you guys. Petra Grant is on. She says, hi, ladies. Sending my love. Petra.
I love Petra.
We did a
Hi,
shout out.
Super talented Petra.
We did a shout out to you, Petra, last week, and I want to do a shout out to you again tonight. She's our friend. She's an amazing singer, amazing artist. Petra has been nominated for a Juno Award this
I'm
year.
So happy for you.
Awards are in March. Yes,
so well deserved.
For her single "Never Broken," it's in the best
Yes.
recording of the best recording
You deserve it, girl.
category.
So proud of you.
And I said,
so proud of you.
Bring it home. Bring it home, lady.
And
Bring
even
it
if
home.
you don't, you are a freaking winner.
Oh
my God.
We're just so proud. And Petra is going to be gracing us again in a few months. We got a few special things coming up on Anything Goes on Thursday nights. So
Yay.
Petra, thank you so much. She also says, no, he didn't, girl. Oh, yeah, he did.
He did.
And
you got to check out that book.
oh my God. Listen. Oh, and she says, good for you. # knowing your worth. Right. And listen, guys, I want to go on record as saying, like, I'm not perfect. Right. And so sometimes casual sex and casual relationships is all that you can, is all
What's
that you.
wrong with that if you are fully whole within
Yeah,
yourself?
it's the only thing you have capacity for. The other person, what I said about not feeling good about it is that feeling, that empty feeling, that void feeling when you go somewhere and you know that it's just that, and then you're leaving and it's that walk of shame. That I don't want to feel.
So, but
that
that's
I don't want to
looking
feel.
for love in all the wrong places.
Looking for love in all the wrong
But it is
places.
confusing.
Urban Cowboy, John Travolta, 1976.
Yeah, because
78.
I look at the sound.
I'm dating myself, but that's okay. Everybody
So-
knows.
You know what it is? We're talking about confusing sexuality and good sex with love. They don't necessarily come together.
Love
Yes.
and loneliness.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not confuse the two.
Yeah.
If they happen to be in the same place where there's great, like, amazing sex and amazing love, oh my God, jackpot and a half. Super jackpot and a half.
Sure.
But that's something that you got to cultivate and take time to cultivate in that relationship. But don't have expectations of a person who continually shows themselves to be less than available for anything deeper than some casual sex. And don't be looking for more than that.
Here's
over
another
there.
thing too, guys. Shout out. I'm going to kind of throw it on the other side, if I may. Shout out to those guys who are transparent and are honest.
Love it.
And say,
and there
look,
are men out there that
this
are
is
like
all
that.
I'm looking for, and they're honest, as opposed to trying to like wine and dine you and pretend like they can give you more when they can't.
Well, this guy was very transparent.
Oh God, and then some. But at least he was honest. But what I'm trying to say is, kudos to them for being honest. But then if the woman continues to proceed forward,
Fantasyland.
but they're looking for
Harlequin
something more,
romance.
that's where the disappointment comes in.
Well, not only disappointment, but I would say that it actually does have a dent in your self-esteem that you've allowed to have that occur.
Lorna says, exactly. Lorna says, no, this guy is whacked. I don't care how busy he is. I call bullshit. If doctors can make the time, he can too. I have many colleagues that make time to visit with me and attend functions or what have you. Yeah, I agree. But he was like Monday to Sunday night, works 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. or isn't available, but you can come to my condo between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4 a.m.
He's clear, he's clear.
And if you're okay with those terms, Let's go.
Yeah.
Sean Levine is watching. Thank you so much for watching. Jimmy says, "Did you respond? I only answer messages."
I didn't know you had hours of operation, kind sir.
Petra says, "Wow, guys, listen. This is why I share what I share and we share what we share. We can't make this stuff up, and there is a lot of this going on.
Absolutely.
David Smith.
But I also want to say that good
Yeah,
relationships
yeah.
are possible.
Yes.
You just have to work on yourself.
Yeah.
To have your own self-value, and then your vibration will bring that to you.
Manifest the positive,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
I love that. David Smith is watching. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. All of you, 100% awesome. Petra says, good for you, Marilla Scalise. You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
She says, sometimes it's not working out. It's God's protection. Right. I really understand that. Right. Sorry, guys. I just scrolled right back up. There was a comment here I wanted to read out. Ryan says, when you know your worth, you realize that you do not need to exchange your unpolished and uncut gems and diamonds for shiny glass beads. You know what? And I love that. And it's absolutely true. Petra says, I love Victoria, Laurie, and Favish. Petra says, going to check out that book. Yeah.
Do it.
I think we all are. There's a lot
Fear
of
of flying,
congratulations.
Erica
Ryan,
John.
Indigo, do you have the, what was it called?
Fear of flying.
Do you have the fear of flying?
Would like to check out the zipless fuck.
Yeah, the zipless fuck. Excuse me? Yeah, the zipless fuck. They probably think I'm prank calling them if I ask
I'm really
that.
dating myself because this was huge in the 70s.
I was singing from Urban Cowboy 1978.
go.
So there you are.
But we're relatable.
If
We're
you
relatable,
can
all
turn
generations.
back.
Still relatable. Petra says, I can't wait to come back and represent for Anything Goes. I know, Petra, it's going to be awesome.
Right
and you
on.
know what? I want to say when
Yes.
you get that Juno, you're bringing it into the studio.
Right
We
on.
want
I
to
held
show.
the
We
Juno
want to show
before.
it off. Jimmy says, casual sex. Do you have to dress up for that, or can it be informal?
I think anything goes.
I think anything goes. And that includes no clothes. And that rhymes. Yes. We've got a whole bunch of comments here, guys. I just want to make sure I get everybody because there's always so much love. Lorna says, Morella, did it occur to you that the man is only available those hours is because his partner is at work? Oh, yes, it did. Also, he only wants to hook up. That is very clear. I wouldn't care how hot he is. He can F off. Lorna, this is why we love you. So I called him out on it. I said, wife, girlfriend, whatever, maybe, because if he can see you in the middle of the night, right, chances are that maybe, there's something else going. I don't know what it is. He got defensive. He said that I was looking for an excuse not to see him. I'm like, no, you've done that all on your own. Like, it's okay.
At this point, we should bring him in as a guest. What do you think? Bring him in as a guest and
guys,
ask how he
what do
gets
you-
away with this.
what do
I
you think
actually
about this
was
idea?
thinking about it.
We should run this.
Nerve, buddy.
We should run this idea. We should get every single guy that there was a
It's a
date,
small
a
studio.
conversation. Doesn't
One or
matter.
two.
We'll have a line.
Line him up.
It will be like speed
tell
dating.
me.
Only it would be a speed
How do you
interview.
get away with this crap? I'm
right?
sure he does.
Okay, next
What's
guy.
your thought?
Why are you such a disappointment? Okay, yeah, next. Okay, well, why didn't you finish in time? You know what I mean. Okay, yeah, next. Enough said. Just get out.
I would say,
Where'd you finish too quickly, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go,
I would
girls.
say that this guy is low quality.
Well, I think he's, and guys, look, I mentioned these things because I really, like I said, I want to be true and I want to be transparent. Whether I'm my age and this is happening to, or Julia's age, or whoever, this is alive and well. And what Victoria has said really hits home on so many levels because you're talking about the guilt. You're talking about the emotional side of things. You're talking about mistaking aggressive behavior with foreplay.
Yeah.
But underlying all these themes is this guise of it is more than what it is, And so all of a sudden, right, like this didn't happen today or this year, but I remember one year, I think it was about 2 Valentines ago. I kid you not, right? Not the same story as Julia, but the guy said to me, and I quote, okay, it's Valentine's week. You can come over every night of the week if you want, and we could do what we got to do, just not Valentine's. And I just
I feel like just men are just scared of it.
but I was just thinking
Most
about
do.
it, and I'm like, I don't even think I want to come over any time of the week. Thank you very much, because it's an emotional week for me. But I asked him the question. I'm like, what is it? Thinking that maybe he had a girlfriend or he was married or whatever, You know what he said to me?
It's my bowling night. No.
No, he said, And he was honest with me. He says, I have 4 Valentine's dates this week and I'm trying to squeeze you in.
Oh, what a shit.
But I asked him, I'm like, dates or girlfriends? He goes, does it matter? And I'm just like, wow. I go, you're special.
So what's the moral of the story? We're meeting some not so great guys.
We're not meeting. I didn't meet him.
Right, but there are some good guys out there. I mean, you know, our friend Ryan Radin is one of them. A lot of the guys that tune in here are really
Well, you
great.
did want to talk about bad boys.
I did
Bad boys,
yeah,
bad boys.
exactly.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when I come for you?
bad boy.
That was a great movie, by the way.
And there's such an allure to, you know, the bad boy on the movie, in the movies, in the novels, etc. But in real life, they really do. I think that there's a destruction.
They do a lot of damage.
It's a lot of damage, a lot of destruction.
If you can
we gotta
say,
I say run, don't walk.
if you can say,
Run, don't
Victoria, because I know you have clients and the whole confidentiality, but if you have to generalize maybe a worst case scenario of where someone has gotten
Ended up
involved,
with
a bad boy, what was the, you know, the like the most
damage?
Yeah. What would you say?
Oh my God! So what comes to mind is a woman who, would come into the office, and we did some really, really good work. But of course, met this guy who treated her terribly, who was very controlling but very good looking.
Yeah.
And she's a good looking woman.
Yeah.
And a lot of whining and dining, a lot of love bombing. Love bombing. So.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you.
So, watch out for the love bombing. A lot of seduction, okay, lower that stuff. A lot of seduction, a lot of beautiful words, whining and dining. But then after that, a lot of control, and then a lot of temper, anger, mistreatment, and then her apologizing, and then coming into the office and me going, you gotta ditch this guy. This guy is.
Why do women?
Let me continue.
Yeah.
So this particular situation turned into her getting pregnant,
Okay.
having the baby,
Yeah.
them getting married, you know, and this bad boy, of course, you know, cheating on her, you know, and her whole self-esteem destroyed, really, really, really destroyed. And not only destroyed, but, you know, I'm into multi-generational healing, and the child, you know, would witness the fights and would witness all of this stuff. So that is kind of where it can go. What I am speaking about is not outlandish. It's not bizarre. It happens. And if people don't watch out, because who they are in the beginning is usually who they are when they're not, like, you know, when you really know who a person is when they're in the bad times.
Yes.
And so these bad times will turn into lifetimes.
So, Victoria, I have 2 questions on that. First of all, what makes someone be controlling like that? And the second question is, why does the partner or spouse put up with it for as long as they do?
Well, think about how manipulative. A person doesn't just stay if someone is, a person doesn't stay unless they're really afraid if someone is always an asshole.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But they'll stay because they're afraid. Okay?
Yeah.
And okay. But usually the person will have 2 sides. They'll have the terribly controlling and insulting and mean, but then they'll have this apologetic and victim, and I'm really sorry, and I can't believe that you're with me, and I'm such a loser, and I'm such a bad guy. And then there is this need to, maybe he's changing, and maybe he's a good person, and
he really loves me.
And he really loves me.
Yeah.
Look how apologetic he is. And then he's had a bad day, and then he's a mean motherfucker, and you know, it's like, so it's not all just one way. We don't usually stick around for the 100% jerk.
Right.
Because, or unless we're afraid and there's a physical weakness and you can't get out because of those things, and that's horrific, and get out.
Did she end up leaving?
So yeah, I mean, yes, absolutely. But you know, in a financial precariousness, and because he you know, how he was in the marriage is how he was in the divorce. You know, really shitty.
Nasty.
And so the bad boy is seductive, and you want that. And you know what? You've got to really watch for this incredible, addictive, wonderful feeling, incredible feeling when they're showering the love on you.
Yeah.
It's not healthy. people who want to be with you 24/7 at the beginning, it's not healthy at all.
Right.
In fact, you want to be suspicious of that. Is everyone listening? You want to be suspicious of people that are really, really, really all about you, calling you this, that. You think it's amazing.
What's that say?
Yeah, you think it's amazing, but
Yeah.
you're like, ooh, too
Yeah.
much too soon. What's going on? Do you not have friends? Do you not have a life? Like, what's going on?
And then there's also in this world of instant everything, the
Yeah.
instant relationship,
Yeah.
right?
The instant relationship, be suspicious of it.
Yeah.
Be very, very, very suspicious of it.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
I tell you, such massive nuggets of insights tonight for sure. I want to get to a couple of things here. Oh, a lot of people still congratulating Petra for the Juno nomination.
Yeah.
Ahmad Durana is watching. Hi, Ahmad. How are you? He's going to be joining us in the next little while as well. Very excited to have him on the show. Ryan says, I'm not really a nice guy because nice guys tend to be foolish. After all, nice comes from the Latin word necius, which means fool. However, I believe in having code, even though I am not perfect. Am I reading that right? I have my flaws and mistakes, but I'm determined to want to grow and improve as a man and a human being, and that is what comes out, which is amazing, right? And we talk about the self-awareness, right? We talk about self-awareness.
It all starts from there.
Guys, we're just kind of wrapping. Well, I mean, I'm trying to be cognizant. So we've been at this for about an hour and like 20 or 30 minutes, something like that, which has been amazing. I want to do some housekeeping items, and then I'm gonna give Victoria a couple of scenarios. I want to see what she says, and Julia, and then we're gonna do our final thoughts for the night, okay? Because leading up to Valentine's, I think this is very, very, very important. A lot of people are feeling very low, and again, it's a constant reminder of, like you were
Take
saying,
your vitamin D. It's February.
Yes. A few vitamins. Okay. Housekeeping items, you guys. I just want to give Bad boys. What you going
Police
to do?
now,
I've seen that
you
movie
know,
3
break
times
the
already. Okay, so first of all, we did the happy birthday to Craig last
Happy
week or the week
birthday,
before.
Craig.
I think we had about
Happy
6 or 8
birthday.
birthdays, and Julia just pretty much sang the entire segment. It was great.
Right on.
I want to do a shout out to Kadeen Cooper, lovely Kadeen Cooper. Julia, myself, and Jermelin are going to be attending her sisterhood meet and greet event in Mississauga Saturday night. Really excited. And you know what I love about it? This is our first time, but it's really about women coming together just to share, in love and hugs. And it's going to be nice, you know?
Nice.
So I want to give a shout out. I also want to give a shout out to Brandon and his Unlearn event. Next Wednesday night, you guys, tickets are like $15 or $20 at Aw Shucks in Aurora. The theme, of course, is love. I'm going to be speaking at that along with
on.
Jason Reed and a few
Yes.
other wonderful folks. And, I'm excited. Like, when I spoke last year about the multi-layers of love, we think about love as with a spouse or a significant other, which I talk about, but I really dug deep in talking about love for myself, love with my family, love with various people in my life. It's very important. Self-awareness comes with self-love, doesn't it? So I'm excited
and let's
about
not mix
that.
up self-worth. Like sometimes
you always say that, right?
I really would like people to cultivate self-worth versus self-love.
Yeah.
First the self-worth, then the love, because sometimes the love that we learn from our families may not be healthy love. So
Yeah.
do the self-worth and
Yeah.
the self-value, and then you'll get to the real healthy love.
I love that. That is so key, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
if we don't feel worthy, then how are we going to love ourselves?
Exactly. You
right?
don't want to love yourself conditionally like you may have been taught,
Yeah.
or perfectionistically like you may have been
Yeah.
taught, or demanding love like you may have been taught. Self-worth, value, treat yourself well, then you're going to get some healthy love.
I love
Yeah.
that. And I love that a lot. And so if you guys are in the Aurora area, want to come out and hang out with me and Julia for 2 or 3 hours, have some good food, come on out. It's going to be really fantastic.
What day is this?
It's next Wednesday night, February the 12th. I think it
Fabulous.
starts at like 5:36. It goes until around 9. Such a fantastic venue. It's just a lot of fun, you know? The other thing I wanted to mention is joining next Tuesday night on Anything Goes to a business edition is Joseph Stetter for round 2, talking about careers and jobs and recruitment. And we're using me as a science project.
Oh, cool.
And I told everybody I got a few rejection emails, and I want to ask Joseph why that is. And we're going to be, I'm going to be kind of challenging him a bit, but that's kind of what we do. It's really great because he's a wealth of information. So guys that are looking for work, that are figuring out what to do in terms of how to find a job and things like this, it's a really great segment. Then I also want to mention next Thursday night, Julia and I are wrapping up our Inside a Woman's World, and it is Valentine's week, and you're going to get just me and Julia for an hour and a half, and we are going to put it all out there, and we're going to recap all of our love stories and everything to do with how we've been feeling about, the past year, because
I'm bringing the sangria.
Because, drum roll, not next week, but the following week, we are celebrating 1 year of Anything Goes.
Wow.
1 year and approaching 50 shows, and we're really, really proud of that, right? So I want to mention that. I'm just going to bring it back to basics and just have some mother-daughter talk about, love and what that really means to us collectively and individually. So don't miss that. And on that note, I think I covered it all off. Victoria, I want to share with you, or I want you to let us know, and also our audience, what is your advice for, because I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of family, a lot of people that message me. I know a lot of people's stories, and I'm glad that I do, because people feel very confident to talk to us and to share things and what have you. So every time we're promoting certain things, I get a lot of people, either I already know their story, or they're coming out of the work saying, you know what, this is important because this is what I'm dealing with, okay?
Right.
So we're going to use a case study here. There is a woman who has been married for the last 30-something years, okay? Long marriage, and they have 2 or 3 kids, and at the end of the day, she has fallen out of love with him. And she knows that. It happens. She's fallen out of love with him, and she's struggling because she loves him as her 30-something year partner and the father of her children, okay? But she's not in love with him anymore. And therefore, I'm assuming that maybe in the bedroom, there's not lots going on. I don't know for sure, but
super common story.
She alluded. And then she also said that she feels very guilty for wanting to leave because they've had a lifetime together, right? But at the same time, she's also wanting desire and fireworks, and she hasn't been getting that. Or not feeling like she's been getting it. And then she's struggling with her own, I'm getting older, and if I don't leave, I'm gonna have a lot of regrets. I'm getting old. So she's really stuck, doesn't know what to do, but she calls it a jail sentence because she's in her own mind, not the marriage necessarily, but in her own mind of what's been going on.
Indecision.
Yeah.
Indecision is such sufferance with indecision.
Yeah.
And so is the advice, what should she do?
What would you, what would you tell people that are in those predicaments?
Get some sex toys.
Wow. Get some sex toys.
I want to be serious about this. I want to
Okay.
be serious about this.
Okay.
Get some sex toys, because if you haven't, I'm assuming that they haven't done some sex therapy, because they need to get the sex on. They need to get the glue in the relationship back. So get some sex toys.
Right.
And I'm not talking about lingerie. I'm talking about sex toys.
Okay, guys.
And possibly if there's an issue with his stuff, maybe a little bit of a little Cialis or something.
Right.
I say this to people.
Yes.
Because you need as you get older, this is not working as easily. Okay, so let's just say they've done all of that and it's not working.
Yeah.
Baby, if not now, when?
Yeah.
And that is what I would say.
One thing I don't know.
If you haven't turned over every stone in this marriage, or let's say you have turned over every stone, and I do mean, leaving a 30-year marriage is very financially costly, is very, very, very difficult emotionally. So leave no stone unturned. Do therapy, get sex toys, get some Cialis, change it up, do some stuff.
Yeah.
Role play, get to some therapy, do stuff. But if that all doesn't work, you don't need to self-sacrifice. Move on.
Yeah, you know why I say that? I say that that's probably the best advice, although I don't know. When she said she's not in love with him anymore.
Yeah, but
but you can
I would challenge that.
Yeah,
I would so challenge that, because
Good.
let's not confuse romantic love with love and partnership.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard work to have long-term passionate marriage, and it's a use it or lose it prospect in the neural pathways.
Yeah.
You know, if you convince yourself that this is not good, and then you end up in a relationship out there or the single world out there, and it's also very difficult, you have only yourself to look at. What's happening within you?
Yes.
That's what's going on. And you want to start to do positive reinforcement, get those neural pathways going, get the sexuality going. Now, if this has all been done and you still can't get over it and you're depressed and you're not happy, listen, life is short. Go find yourself another situation and find your way out. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you for that. I hope she's watching, and then if she's not, I hope she watches the replay. I'll connect with her. But okay, let's do some final thoughts, and okay.
Really?
Joseph is
Go shopping for those toys.
Joseph is I don't know if you heard the music in the background. That he's
Come inside, take off your coat, I'll make
some
you feel
sensual
at home.
music right now. Okay, let's do some final thoughts.
Okay, final thoughts.
Let's go, Julia.
My final thought. Yes to the sex toys. They are beneficial. I'm just kidding.
I'm telling you. What's wrong with that, you know?
No, but my final thought is okay. Learn to love yourself. You know, grow, increase your self-esteem by, you know, enjoying your time with yourself. You know,
Yeah.
make yourself your own partner before
Date
you make
yourself.
someone else like a part of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, watch a good movie, light the candles. Ladies, get the face mask going. It feels great.
Go to a spa.
Yeah, go to a spa. You know, dig into your favorite foods. But whatever it is, both men and women, just love yourself. And just if you're feeling lonely, sex toys. But if you're feeling lonely,
There was a herd of cows on the.
give a hug. Go to your mother or like a friend or something, and don't answer the door because again, I don't have cake this time. But
And you'll
whatever.
be answering in your robe, but that's okay.
Yeah, in a bun. But yeah, all said and done, love yourself. Be kind to every person that you see. Don't be resentful. Be forgiving, but move on from that situation and deal with the things that do matter in your life, not the stuff that doesn't matter. Just leave it over there, and you go over here, and it'll just disappear.
I love that.
see you
That's
later.
very healthy, Julia.
Like-
Nice job. Nice final thoughts. Victoria.
Believe that change is possible. You know,
Yeah.
just because you are, don't just say, well, it's just how I am. I'm into bad boys. It's just how I am. I'm into unhealthy relationships. It's just how I am. Understand that it is not just how you are. It's how you have wired your brain to be. And you can change. You don't need to be at the mercy of your patterns. Analyze your patterns and work on shifting them through concerted repetition and awareness and disrupt, unhook. Also, a big one is don't give in to guilt. Say no when you want to say no. Say yes when you want to say yes. Honor yourself. Value yourself because you matter. You matter. And the last one is don't develop a relationship through texting.
Oh,
That's a
Stop
big
it.
one. I know.
Don't develop a relationship.
Yeah,
through texting.
Mom.
Oh, I don't.
You text once or twice,
Yeah.
find a meeting,
Yeah.
get for coffee, stop wasting time, go there.
I agree.
Okay?
I agree. 100%. Good job,
That's all I'm
Victoria.
saying.
Good job. Okay, before I get into my final thoughts, you guys, I want to thank Victoria, Lori, and Favish.
Thank you so much.
You can find her on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. She's a Courageous Conversations. She's written
Visualizationworks.com.
Yeah, she's written books, a wealth of information,
Yeah.
just very, very vibrant. She'll be back on next month, I believe it's March
Did we do
12th.
the 12th?
Yeah,
We do the
and
12th,
so
yeah.
excited. And Victoria is actually going to be on with another special guest, which is a little bit different than what we usually have when she's
Cool.
on. But I think it's really important
Be
to,
fun.
it's going to be fantastic because we are continuing our series like we do about, you know, people sharing what they're going through. And I think it's important that people, you know, this is what we want to do. We want a very relaxed environment in here. So I think it's going to be anything goes. Anything really does go. So I want to do that. I want to thank Julia Scalise as always. I want to thank all of you guys. Love you guys. Thank you so much for the love and support. Frequency 5 FM. My final thoughts, and then I'm going to leave you with a little surprise. Julia's going to kill me, but that's okay. I'm just going to say that right now because
I have a sore throat. Don't think about it.
And that's why she can't sing tonight because she has a sore throat.
I feel like crap.
She has a sore throat and she's not feeling well, so I'm not going to get her to sing. My final thoughts, you guys, is in the context of what we're talking about here. You know, at the end of the day, it's very important to love ourselves and for us to find worthiness and validation within ourselves.
Yeah.
We are never going to find it with, you know, by someone else trying to validate us. It will only leave us empty and void. I've been there, and I've recently had to put some boundaries on things. And sometimes you can still care about people, but you have to care about them from a distance. And, you know, as long as you're true to yourself, don't feel guilty. You only have one life. You have to take care of yourself and your health, because if you don't, when the
no one's coming to save you.
No one, as Victoria always says, no one's coming to save me.
That's right.
That's exactly, or you. So on that note, the other night in the car, Julia and I were driving
Oh
home.
my God.
And,
Guys, welcome to Anything Goes. You guys will be witnessing a murder this evening.
Now, I apologize if the sound is not so good. We had the heat on in the background, but anyway, Julia was in the car, and as you guys know, Julia has got a beautiful voice, and she sings with such emotion, and she sings with such passion. And she was singing in the car, and then she started to sing Demi Lovato's "You Don't." What is it? You don't do it. What's the title?
You don't do it for me.
Yeah,
anymore.
you don't do it for me anymore, which I think is very
apropos to this.
Yes, apropos to this segment, you don't do it to me anymore or for me. So anyway, I recorded a snippet of it, and if anyone knows that song, it is really hard to hit those notes. I mean, really hard. And I recorded it, and I want you guys to listen to it, and we're going to end the segment off. It's absolutely stunning. And if you can't hear it, I'm going to place the video on Facebook tomorrow, because I was sitting there and I was just feeling such emotion at the way she was singing it, and that's why we always say that music heals us. So I'm going to play it. I hope you guys can hear it. I'm going to put it to the microphone.
What? Sorry, Joseph is saying something.
What are we doing? Sorry. Hold on a second.
Joseph is to your right, not to your.
Oh, what am I doing? Okay. So am I putting it in the? How am I doing? You're gonna do it? Okay. Oh, Joseph is gonna do it. Hold on a second.
All right.
Okay.
But
just a
other than
minute.
that, there's now with traffic, there is a
Okay.
goat flock going northbound on the 400 series left at the Ford. But now in other news, there's some reason, an
but I just
outbreak in
can't be
traffic
with
light
you like
control.
this anymore.
Now, the lights are not lighting up, but we are.
Shh, we need to hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. That wasn't going to work tonight. So we're going to try it like this. Okay, Joseph, can you lower the music? Thank you. Okay, here we go, guys. I hope you can hear it.
Put it louder. Wow.
I don't know if you guys can hear that.
Beautiful.
And I won't fall for your games. So don't hate me when I say that you don't do it for me anymore.
Nice.
Woo!
No, you don't do
moving
it for me. Don't do it for me anymore. I'm sorry, but Craig is
Oh, yeah, Craig is
calling
calling me.
now.
That was an improv for
To
Craig.
talk to me, to talk to me, and I will call him back when I'm home and talk to him, and talk to him. No, you.
Gorgeous. Yay.
Do it for me. Don't do it for me. You.
Way to go. That's my baby girl, guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week. We'll see you back here Tuesday night. That was amazing.